Welcome and good morning, everyone. Happy to have you along today. My name is Randy Lober, Growth Marketing Manager here at Action Benefits. And part of my job, in fact, one of the best parts of my job is spending time with you all at least once a week, talking about how to help you grow your health insurance book of business. Today, we are talking about local SEO for health insurance pros, and you probably have a few questions. What is SEO? How do I do it, right? When you became a health insurance agent, you probably didn't also know you had to become a print marketer, digital marketer, and all those sorts of things as well. And you don't have to be, but there are ways to do this all kind of on the cheap. Our goal here today is to give you some of the tools to help you start showing up in Google searches. So we are not here for a long time, just a good time today, just only 45 minutes or so. But those 45 minutes will hopefully set you up with a good amount of things to be successful. So without any further ado, we are off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. And let's talk first about what is SEO. And on the screen there, you see it outlined for you, search engine optimization. It is the practice of refining the entirety of your web presence. So your online profiles, like your Google, your Yelp, those sorts of things, your website, your social media. It's the practice of refining all those sorts of things so they all work together, present rather a unified image of who you are, what you're about, and how you do business, so that search engines like Google and Bing, if you know anyone that uses Bing, can find you, can find your business and recommend you to the people and prospects you hopefully want to serve in the future. And while this is a local SEO for health insurance pros session, we're going to focus on a few things to keep it very local. But in the broad strokes, we should talk about, level set with a few things that'll help guide you all going forward. So local SEO or SEO in general is best accomplished through a variety of methods. There's a few things you have to manage, and I just listed all those for us. Your Google profile, your Yelp profile, your website, including any blogging you might be doing. YouTube should show up here as well with the YouTube, with the social media, so Facebook, LinkedIn, all those sorts of things. All of those work together inside the guts of a search engine like a Google or a Bing or a GoDaddy or whatever, right? To help them figure out which businesses to recommend and put in front of consumers. And generally speaking, this is a gross oversimplification of what it takes to get that done, but that's okay for the moment. You need to establish four things as you are thinking about your online presence. And that is what Google refers to as EEAT or EAT, because I stretched out the E there. Whenever you make something, whenever you work something in your professional brand on the internet, four things Google is going to kind of sort through to figure out whether you deserve to be near the top of the rankings when someone searches health insurance agent near me, or health insurance agent in Florida, or health insurance agent in Warren, or wherever the case might be. First thing you need to be able to prove to Google and audiences really is experience. What is your firsthand knowledge of the industry? When you are creating things, when you are putting things out into the ether for people to read and interact, consume with, does it show that you're an insurance expert? So in other words, are you saying that you're an insurance agent, but really you're kind of talking like surface level stuff, like I can help you enroll in insurance, or do you do deep dives, right? Like here's the difference between Medicare Supplement Plan G and Plan N, and you can go into depth in talking about those in a video or a blog because it's not as regulated as Medicare Advantage market, right? But if there's a reason that like if you were to go search that on YouTube or anywhere else, that every insurance agent and their brother does that. Yes, it's because they want to help people understand the difference between G and N, but it's also the idea of establishing experience and credibility within the industry. So we want to make sure that whatever we create asserts us as experts in our field. Not to be confused with the second E that Google coins here, which is expertise. And this is really your bona fides, right? What are the credentials that you have that make you a licensed health insurance agent? So in if you were to listen to a lot of either radio ads or look at TV ads or even look, through print ads in your newspaper magazines, you see a lot of mortgage brokers with their NMLS numbers printed at the bottom, right? As evidence of, yes, they're licensed. Now, that's a legal requirement for them, not necessarily a legal requirement for you to put your NPN on things just yet, depending on, where government regulation goes. But it's not a bad idea to do, right? To prove that yes, in fact, you are licensed, or your Michigan license number for that matter. First, you could display those on LinkedIn, or of course, you could display those on your website and some of your print collateral. For our purposes here, probably most value displaying that on your website, though not the express purpose of what we're working on here today. The third thing Google looks for, and admittedly the hardest one to build, is authority. Do people trust what you're saying enough online to link back to you, to cite you? Do people look back and say, "Oh, that Anthony, he wrote a really good blog on so XYZ. I think you guys should read it." Are other people posting your content on social media? Are other people referring to your blog, to your video? In their blogs or their videos, right? Are they referring back to you? Are you being quoted in local newspapers? So there's always someone like on Fox 2, right? Especially around open enrollment times and AEP times. Or even local access stations or local papers giving quotes about AEP and what to watch out for, or OEP and what to watch out for, or how to pick an employee benefit plan, or how to weigh gold versus silver versus bronze in your employee's benefit package. You're always seeing experts quoted there. And those quotes often come from links from the newspaper back to that agency or brokerage's website. Those links help to build authority in Google's eyes. They see that reputable sources like a local newspaper thinks enough of you to say, yeah, you're credible. And that credibility helps build authority in Google's eyes and will put your agency up the ranks as well. The other thing to keep in mind is trustworthiness. And here, not just like, are you a good person? Although, please always be a good person, but rather is the information about you, your agency, your brokerage that can be found online all accurate? And in particular, we're talking about contact information. We're talking about addresses. Are there any discrepancies in the addresses that show up in your email versus on your LinkedIn profile versus on your Google profile versus your website? Google uses its robots essentially to crawl all of those and look for inconsistencies. Same thing for phone numbers, same things for social media profiles, and so on and so forth. That trustworthiness bullet is really all about, are you who you say you are? And is it easy for consumers to find you? And while these are some general best practices to work toward and to keep in mind as you build out your online presence, we're going to use them to guide some of what we talk about here today. We got you in the door by talking a little bit about Google Business Profiles, and that's where we'll spend the bulk of our time. But it's important to lay some of these, these foundational pieces out to help guide conversations going forward. And we do have additional sessions built just around EEAT and how it shows up on your website. Happy to link you to a video if you so choose or ask for in the chat. And certainly we will run that again in the future. That said, what are we going to do specifically today and why are we going to do it? We are going to help build, share best practices, and audit a few Google business profiles to help you build experience, expertise, and trustworthiness. And for like a real visual example, what we're trying to do is when a consumer searches health insurance agent near me, I want you to show up here, right near the top with your 5-star reviews and your 15 years in business and so on and so forth, because those are the first few people consumers are going to call. But they can't find you on Google if you're not listed on Google. And even if you are listed on Google, if you're not taking care of that listing, again, Google won't promote you up to the top here. So that's what we're going to talk about really today is what are some best practices to help us appear up here. I'm pointing to the screen at the top of the list on the screen. And to do that, we're going to start from scratch. As I looked at our attendee list today, there's about maybe 40% of you that do have a Google business profile. The other 60% of you or so do not yet have one. You can feel free to follow along with me here today, or at least get started with me here today. I will also send you a recording of this session about 24 hours from now. So if you want to kind of build as you listen, that is certainly a possibility here as well. But what I'm going to do is switch screens and walk you through some best practices here and some commentary from what we know from Google and some other things. This is the screen and window I am looking for, and we are off to the races. You are now seeing, or should be seeing, a new screen that says stand out on Google with the free business profile. And I'm saying that out loud because I'm hopefully someone will either say, no, that's not what I see right now, or yes, Randy, that is what I'm seeing right now. Okay, good news. It is what you're seeing right now. Let's go ahead and get started. So when I come here to business.google.com and US business profile, or just business.google.com, oops, you'll see the splash page. You'll see an option to sign in, start now, or create your profile. You do not have to be signed in with your Google profile right away, right? Your Google ID right away, but you can be. It'll actually prompt you to soon enough. But this big blue create your profile button is where we want to go here, and it's where we'll start. I have started a sample business for full disclosure here, just to bring the process along, and I'm going to go as far along in the process as I can without actually setting up an actual business that would appear on Google. But I'll point out to you where we're stopping in the process and what you would need to do to finish the process here, because I am working live inside Google here. There is no demo environment. So we're going to work here with example benefits, and we're going to go with the next button here. Now, this is going to sound incredibly simple and patronizing, and you can say, Randy, this is super obvious, and I'll be okay with that. But there's a few things you got to get right from the top. Whatever your legal business name is, has got to be the same thing that appears here on Google, because later on, Google may ask you, not always, but may ask you for proof of your licensure in Michigan, and proof of your agency's licensure in Michigan to advertise or work as a health insurance agency on Google. So you want to make sure that whatever your legal business name is here is the same one that matches here. So if you are Example Benefits LLC, that's what you'd want to show up here. If you are, as you look at your agency names, whatever your agency names happens to be, ended the same way here. Second thing you've got to get right is your business category. So don't choose health and beauty shop. You are probably a health insurance agency. That's the second thing you've got to get right here. A few more words about business names, though, before we go forward. Sometimes you will see profiles out there and that say things like give the name of the company, and then they do what's called keyword stuffing. So then they also throw in words here like Medicare. Oops. That's how you know it's live demo. Medicare agency, group agency, or employer benefits agency, so on and so forth. And they will try that in a way to do what's called keyword stuffing, whereas Google sees these keywords and says, oh, they must do those things. And that will trick Google perhaps for a few weeks or so. But Google will soon figure out, especially when you go to verify your profile, that none of that stuff is part of your name, and that they will either strike or deactivate your profile and make you unfindable on Google. So they will tell you when they do so. By the way, they won't do that in the dark. But the best practice here is to use your exact business name and to make sure your category is correct here as well. But move on to next. Here is an important question, as I know many of you have home offices, right? You don't report to work at an offsite location. Your commute is from the coffee maker to your kitchen table or to an office in your room. So you've got a choice to make here. Do I add a location customers can visit, like a store or office, or am I going to be what's called, in Google terms at least, a service area business? If you do have a physical address that customers can visit, then you'll say yes to this question. But if you don't, and that's the path we'll take here today, because I know many of you do work out of your homes, your path is going to look a little bit different. If I were to say yes here and it were to take you down this path, it would ask you eventually to verify that address. Google will eventually send you snail mail to that address, or they'll ask you to take like a video of like your business branding alongside the address, just to verify that you are in fact doing business where you say you are doing business at. Home location verification is a little bit different, but want to make sure we say that out loud here as well. So if we're going to be a service area business, we have some choices here. Where do we serve our customers? You see the example they pre-populate for us here is Manhattan, New York, and that's an option. Some of you may work in Oakland County. If I type well, the pressure is on here today as you're watching me. So that's cool. But you can also add additional locations. Maybe I particularly do want to work in Clawson, or maybe I also want to name Royal Oak. And maybe I also want to name Madison Heights and Troy as well to get some of that. Every location I add, so whenever someone, this is again for service area businesses here, every location I add, when someone searches for health insurance agent in Royal Oak or health insurance agent Oakland County or health insurance agent near me, whenever I give Google a better idea of the areas that I want to serve or the areas that I am willing to travel to see my clients at least, um, more likely to show up when they search health insurance agent in Clawson or health insurance agent Madison Heights. If I leave this blank, Google doesn't know where I serve, and so you're kind of eliminating yourself from any of those health insurance agent near me um, searches, and that's bad for business there. Southeast Michigan, excellent question, Lorna, as I see you here. Can't quite do that, right? So doesn't necessarily show up as a region here. I could choose Michigan, but if I work in additional counties, maybe I also work in Wayne County and Macomb County. I would just add those counties and some of the bigger cities in there as well, um, as they go on forward. Cities, you're will probably will get better targeting for people searching in those. Um, would I add every city in Oakland County? That would probably be time consuming, and I might avoid smaller cities in that. But if there's cities I know I want to do business in for sure, I would name those absolutely. I'm going to roll forward with this list here, but you can add as many locations as you want for Southeast Michigan. But excellent question, Lorna. That helps us kind of figure out what goes next. All right, there's a lot of things that we have to get right here. Next thing we do absolutely have to get right is a contact phone number. Google will periodically call you. Their robots will call you, not like an actual person, to verify that you are still in business and that you are the person you are taking calls at this number. So I'm going to put in a sample number here just to look at. Google will also periodically use this to crawl your website. So if you've launched a website already and you've had example benefits as your website, this is another chance to get that right here and have your website and your phone number displayed on that Google search profile. So if, for example, when someone searches X and benefits, our website, our phone number shows up here. Doing this is how you get that done. If you want to allow folks to text message you instead of calling, right? Because millennials and Gen Z, we and those below me, we're phone call averse, right? So if we want to give people the okay to text message, if for example you're using a VoIP or a cell phone provider, you can also add an additional contact method for yourself there as well, and let people start conversations that way. Google's then going to ask for some additional things from me. Remember, I chose that I was going to be a service area business, right? So I don't, it's not going to actually show the street address to folks. But what it will do is it does ask for my address, my home address, if this was my home. Again, to this is Action's address for those of you paying attention at home. But it does ask for your address to help verify that business. Remember, I said it would probably send you some snail mail or ask for a video verification of the address here, your workspace. We You could go along through that process and have that address in here and go on there. I'm going to choose for purposes here of this conversation and to go hopefully kick us forward is to verify my address later. But verifying that business is going to be a key point of getting it done. Google will walk you through on what it needs you to do here. But because again, I'm not actually setting up a business profile, I'm going to verify my business later. What I do want to do though is talk about what services we can add here. And here's where we want to be pretty robust. We want to include anything we actually do. So if I help businesses with health plans, sure. Do I do dental insurance? You betcha. Do I do health insurance? Yep. Do I do group health plans? Yep. Do I do individual health plans and assistance? Do I do insurance consults? Do I do travel health insurance? That doesn't quite fit, but I absolutely provide Medicare enrollment assistance and Medicare plan assistance. If I work in the self-funded space, I can do that. I can say vision insurance. If there's anything here that it isn't here, maybe I offer pet insurance. It doesn't show up here, but I can add uh, pet insurance there, and that those will all be servings listed that I can provide. You'll then want to set your business hours. For brevity's sake, I'm only going to be open 24 hours on Monday, but please do set your actual business hours here. You can set them again, your open and close time on those days as you go forward. Again, that lets customers know when they can call you, when they can visit you, when not, right? It's always important that. A word on business hours. Once you establish your profile ahead of major holidays, like we'll have Labor Day coming up sooner rather than later, Google will send you an email asking you whether you're open or closed for Labor Day, and we'll give you the option to go into your profile and log in and tell the world whether you're open or closed. So, good practice to keep on track with those there. The business description is one of the other things you've absolutely got to get right going forward, because this is how you tell customers and tell uh, everyone and prospects how you do business, who you are, and so on and so forth. And remember, we're looking to build those four things: that expertise, experience, that authority, and trustworthiness. Here's where I have an opportunity to build both my experience and expertise. So if I say that I'm a licensed health insurance agent in Michigan, good question, Jim. I can pop into something and I can show you roughly where to go in your profile, but give me just a moment and let me finish this train of thought here. Licensed health insurance agent in Michigan, helping consumers select Medicare. I'm abbreviating here, don't actually type U65, and group benefit plans that best fit their needs. The reason I include that list is because I want to show consumers everything that I do, right? All the lines of business that I serve. But I've also got some keywords here as well. So Medicare, of course, is going to be a key keyword. If someone searches for Medicare insurance agent near me and Google sees that I have Medicare and I'm a licensed health insurance agent, that's another feather in my proverbial cap that's going to push me higher up the rankings. Same thing by listing individual family or Obamacare or marketplace insurance. Um, Anything that a consumer could search for that also appears here is good news for you. Same for employee or group benefit plans. Anything, again, you help with here that you actually help with here is good to include as well. Google will ask you for a storefront photo. Now, if, for example, you are a service area based business, your home, for example, you're probably not going to want a photo of your front door with your address plate on your street here, right? So Google does make this portion optional. You can skip it here as well. Um, but and that's probably the best path forward if you do have a service area business. If you do have an actual storefront, then please do include a portion of that. Next thing, and this is pretty key to get right here as well, is photos of your business. People, we're visual buyers, we're visual consumers. They want to see who we're working with and who we're dealing with. So at a minimum, a high quality headshot is a nice image to include here. If you have images of you out in the community, maybe you're staffing a table at a local event, right? So you have a booth at a one of the church festivals going on nearby, or the county fairs or state fairs going on. Well, one state fair going on nearby, and you're working a kiosk there. Those are some options, right? Anything that shows you doing your work is a good thing to add here. And you can also get a little creative if you have an office dog or office pets. People also like the idea that you're a human too, right? So you can show off some of those kind of behind the scenes things. If there is someone that is giving you a referral, and you want to get a snap a picture of you guys shaking hands and put that up here. Anything that shows that you're a real person doing business is a good thing to include here. Google looks to those and uses their own tools to analyze again how credible you are and whether you're doing what you say you are. And of course, consumers look there to see, are you nice? Are you friendly? Are you credible? Are you someone I want to do business with? So don't neglect photos going forward as well. Google also makes a lot of money on your money, so to speak. So they do give you the opportunity to start advertising easily in minutes. Will not show you that here today, much more than we can talk about inside of a 45-minute session. But it is an option for you. We you with Google advertising, just as a quick caveat, you very much get what you pay for. Google's always going to ask you for more money. It's not a bad investment, but it takes a lot to make it a smart investment. It takes a lot of work and understanding to make it a smart investment. We are happy to walk you through that process as well, and that's better in individual conversation than large group because it really depends on what you're trying to do. So please give me an email. A little bit later on, I'll show you my contact information. We can have that conversation should you choose to as well. For now, I'm going to skip that portion though. Google will also offer you the opportunity to get a custom domain name for your website and a custom email address. So instead of being randy@gmail.com, if you don't already have your own insurance services or myagency.com or whatnot, Google will try to sell you one here as well, but it's a good asset to have, build some credibility for your company. I'm going to skip that here as well. And then I'll have the opportunity to continue. Again, this is Google's reminder that I need to verify my profile. So I need to be on the lookout for snail mail from Google. I need to be on the lookout for phone call from Google, right, to the phone number that I gave them. I need to be on the lookout for Google's request for video confirmation that I'm doing business where I said I would to do that. And once Google has that verification, then it will become complete. Excellent question, Lorna. And what I'll show you next. So I'm going to shift gears here over to showing you the back side of Action Benefits, the FMO profile here. There's a lot of stuff here to be sure. But I want to walk you through a few things that are going to help you get some more reviews, update your profile, keep it current, and show you a few things that you're asking about here as well. So to get here, if it's easier to actually show you here, if I go to Google, log in here, when you have your Google business profile established, you're going to have this little menu bar, this tic-tac-toe board. And one of the first things that'll show up in your favorites here is your business profile manager. And that's going to help us answer some of the questions that we have here, that we've had here already. That didn't take me where I wanted to go. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's confused because I tried to create another business here. We're going to go back to this page here as well. But either way, the place to get here is Business Profile Manager. Your journey is going to look a little bit different. But here's the important part is when you click on that business profile manager, you're going to be on a page that looks like this. It's going to show you a lot of guts to your profile. It's going to show you your current reviews, give you opportunities to edit your business information, to start advertising. Going to show you a few things here. Going to walk you through a lot of what you're seeing here as well. So you'll see an indicator of your profile strength. We are not fully complete here, not fully strong enough here in Google's eyes, but it's where we want to be for some good reasons. We want people to find you, not us when they're searching for health insurance. But it does give you opportunities to complete info. If you want to edit your business profile, it does bring you through a lot of different things here. You can edit the products you offer, the services you offer. If you want a bookings link, so if you have a Calendly or a Chili Piper or something else, and you want someone to be able to schedule a consult right from Google profile, that's an option for you here as well. You can update your website directions, save, call, so on and so forth. Um, As I go down the right side here, first thing you'll see is that we have the opportunity to add photos. So you have the opportunity to manage photos, remove them here. You have the opportunity to add photo. That's as simple as just taking thing and dropping it into the box here. And keeping photos again of you in business, you in action, no pun intended, is key there. We know to answer Lorna's question that we're verified here because we have this blue check mark. That blue check mark is Google's way of saying, yes, you're verified. If we were not verified, this would be red, bad, wrong. Say this profile is not yet verified, and it would give you links here to tell you what your next steps were to get verified. If I needed to edit my business hours or anything else, I could edit my business information here. I'm not going to change our name or anything else of the sort, but I can change phone numbers if I need to add a chat, add additional social profiles like a LinkedIn or a Facebook. So people can go keep finding me. I have the option there to do that. I can change my location, our service area, business hours, so on and so forth, all the way down through. If I wanted to add information about parking, because maybe people have to park in a structure because I'm in a downtown area, I can change that information here as well. Lots of different things we can do to manage those. Um, as we scroll down here, down the right side, you'll see reviews here. You'll also see updates. I'm going to come back to reviews here in just a moment. But we will also talk about updates. Because this is a sneaky thing that a lot of agencies that is, even if I looked at some of your profiles, and I'm not going to name and shame anyone publicly, but this is one area you may be ignoring. Google rewards any business rather that stays active on Google. And by active on Google, I mean posting here on an average at least of once a week. So what can an update be? Well, it can be a news story, right? It can be us talking about the cyclospora outbreak here, or it can be a testimonial or your holiday posts or posts that we've talked about, childcare and birth getting more expensive and things like that. That can be something newsworthy. That can be something unique to your business. Anything there is okay. But we'd encourage that once you have your profile, you keep updating here once a week, on average or so, more frequently if you can. When you do that, and I should post here, you can schedule these as well, add additional details like learn more. So if, for example, there is a blog entry, like we recently wrote one about uh, new HSA limits and deductibles. This learn more would take people over to that blog entry, gives an option to read more about that. So that updates tab, this area of your profile, is probably the most frequently ignored portion of an agent's profile, but also probably the one of the most important for Google to know that you're active and in business. And this is again where you build some of your expertise and um, authority as well. The other place you can build authority is with reviews. You see, we have reviews here as well. Some of you have said, hey, great people work here, and good, thank goodness for Debbie Brown. And someone was confused. I was with another agency here, left a 1 star. Quick note about reviews. Whenever you get reviews, always respond to them. You'll see that we do respond to all the reviews coming in, thanking them for reviews. And if you get a subpar review, we actually have a whole session dedicated to that too. But the big thing is, if I want to get more reviews, I can click on this more reviews button or get more reviews button. And what it does is it gives me a link that I can copy. That link I can paste into my email signature. I can put it on business cards. I can generate a QR code. Lots of agents have a separate kind of referral ask card that they print out and hand over to clients at the end of a meeting so they can scan that QR code and give the review right away. Those reviews absolutely help you, right? Help your star rating up here on Google, help the numbers they see here. Also helps make you more visible for AI searches from ChatGPT, those sorts of things. Gemini. Google searches here. The more reviews you have, the more people are talking about you, the more authority you build. All good news for your business. Um, into Jim's question about profile settings, you will likely see, and I don't have a ton of time to tool around with this, Jim, here live in a session, but in your business information, you have an opportunity to update holiday hours if there's something upcoming here. Oops, and there's one thing I accidentally got away from here. And I can also see some of these links down here, scroll down to confirm and see additional information down here. Will likely take me some off those settings as well. Jim, and if you're having more trouble, certainly happy to handle that conversation off line as well. We did promise 45 minutes. A few more things I want to share with you here before we get off to the races and get you off to the rest of your days. Going back to the PowerPoint here for just a few moments here. And I do want to let you know that when in tomorrow's email, you'll get a link to today's presentation where we'll call out some of the mistakes that I called out today in some more plain detail for you. I will tell you that all the images you'll see are AI generated in the appendix here because I didn't want to disparage any actual hardworking business who's getting out there trying to do the right thing for themselves. So because they're AI generated, you're going to notice some quirks in here, some misspelling, some made up words, so on and so forth. But I do want to just bring your attention to some of these things here as well. Like if your home address is exposed, right? Don't do that, right? If you're working out of your home office, remember that's where we want to make sure that we're a service area business, so we don't have a physical address for customers to visit. If you do log into your profile and you see this big red banner that says action is required, verify your business to appear on Google. Again, back to Lorna's question earlier, how do I know if I'm verified? That's a pretty good cue that you're not. So if you have anything red or that needs your attention, Google will be fairly straightforward about what you need to pay attention to. So look out for those sorts of things going forward as well. Also, if your profile is incomplete, be mindful of that as well. Probably the only thing worse than not having a profile is having one that's incomplete or poorly maintained. If people can see that you're there, but they don't have a way to call you or find you on the website, they don't know your services or what you're doing, then you look like a lazy insurance agent, right? And nobody wants to do business with a lazy insurance agent, right? So it's important to make the effort in here to keep it active. Negative reputations, always address those negative reviews when they come in, as we mentioned above. Sorry for the experience you had here. Please call me at XYZ number to get it right. And you'll see if you were to go look at anyone else's Google business profiles, you're seeing lots of other firms do the same thing. It lets people reading that exchange know that you do care about the customer experience and that you're trying to make it right. Whether the customer does call you back to try to do that is on them. But at least you're putting the positive image out there that you are trying to get things done. Would highly encourage you, though, not to get down in the mud here, right? This is a professional venue. Everybody's seeing what you're doing here. This is an opportunity to invite further conversation, not to try and change hearts and minds through a comment war here. Called out the category there as well. Remember, we selected health insurance agency when we were setting up our profile. Don't choose that you're a plumbing contractor or anything else. I use that as a very, good non-example, very obvious non-example. But don't choose health consultant, right? Because that's a little bit different here as well. Make sure your links work here as well. Google will tell you if they can't find your links, but you'll want to do some regular maintenance there as well. We talked a bit about keyword stuffing. Don't, include Medicare supplements and group plans in your agency name or your business name. You'll want to keep it to what you are there as well. Poor photo quality can be a turn off for Google. Google does periodically edit photo quality with their own robots. But again, if you have a bunch of blurry profiles or things that aren't well taken, consumers do see that and can see that as a lack of attention to detail and wonder what else it is you may be missing. And the final thing, of course, is please remember to keep that business profile updated by adding those updates that we talked about earlier to make sure your profile stays active. I'll give you back to my contact information here. Saw a few questions come in that I'll get to here in just a moment. But if should you want to get a hold of me, you can reach out to anyone here at Action on LinkedIn at the Action Benefits Company. Both my colleague Chelsea and I monitor our learning at actionbenefits.com mailbox. So should you have any questions here, we're happy to answer those. You can also get a hold of anyone here at Action at 248-356-8585. And the folks at the front desk will be happy to get you in touch with whoever you want to talk to here at Action, whether it's me or anyone else. Lorna asked the question, what do you do about the people who target your business or leave a review that has nothing to do about your business and Google refused to take it down? So you're right, Lorna. That is absolutely an epidemic, and AI and spammers have made it much more robust. If Google is refusing to take it down, they are the final say about what can be done there. So it instead becomes how do you manage that presence on your page? So you can flat out say in your response to that comment, we have no association with this person. We've never done business with them. This appears to be a fraudulent review. You can flat out say, this review is gibberish, right? Because there are plenty of those that come out too. It's a 1-star review with a bunch of gibberish around it as well, and point that out as well. While Google may take a while to pick up on any pattern there, your consumers at least will see that you're responsive and that they're not the bad person that 1-star review or that made-up review says you are. So, absent any help from Google, the best defense is sticking it to just the facts, ma'am, right? And to saying, we don't know this person, we don't have a business relationship, we're unsure where this comment came from. Please reach out with us to more questions. Kind of, keeping a straight face as best you can. I know what can feel like a very personal attack and very, forward attack on your business. Better to take the high road here in this case. And, when you do see those comments, you can report them to Google. But as you said, Google doesn't always do things right away or in a timely fashion. So do be mindful of that going forward. Promised you 45 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at 44 minutes. If there are any other questions, I'm happy to pay attention to those here. Feel free to keep them coming. You are going to hear me stop the recording just so we don't have a bunch of dead air at the recording, but I'm happy to stick around for anything else you might want to know.